One.
On World News Tonight this Tuesday, one step closer to impeaching the president. It has not been a good day for Bill Clinton. All that free music you get on the internet, the recording industry is up in arms. And we're going to take a closer look at a growth hormone given to cows. The cows produce more milk. But is there a cancer connection?
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. One of the president's political allies said today it's like a tidal wave moving against him. The possibility that Mr. Clinton will be able to fight off impeachment has been growing slimmer by the hour today. A number of congressmen the White House was counting on to vote against impeachment. In the House of Representatives said today they will vote for it. It is still possible for the president to prevail, but he must start changing some minds pretty quickly. We start with ABC's Linda Douglas.
The Republican members came forward in a steady stream to say they will vote to impeach the president. New York's Jack Quinn, who once said he would vote against impeachment.
The president was not being truthful under oath in those specific cases.
White House aides had thought they could count on New York's Michael Forbes. They were wrong.
The president did obstruct justice.
Ann Northup of Kentucky, undecided no longer.
I believe that the president did not tell the truth.
Tom Campbell of California.
And I will vote to impeach the President of the United States.
And perhaps most devastating for the White House, Nancy Johnson, the influential moderate from Connecticut.
And when you break the law, that is a public matter.
The president's supporters tried frantically to stem the tide. Leaders of women's groups marched into the office of incoming House Speaker Bob Livingston to push for a censure resolution. And liberal groups like People for the American Way and labor unions flooded congressional offices with phone calls and email.
The House server has been a little jammed up with there being so many people trying to email.
But the onslaught seems to be having little effect because pro-impeachment forces have been calling and writing for weeks. The Capitol Post Office is overwhelmed. One congressman on the fence, Connecticut Republican Chris Shays, has been inundated with calls from both sides. Today he was out talking to constituents about his frustration with the president.
Almost every American that I've spoken to said they just wanted to tell the truth.
That is what Shays will tell Mr. Clinton when he meets with him tomorrow. ABC News has learned that congressional Democrats are now talking with Shays to see if he would be part of a last-minute deal with the White House. If the president would agree to go much farther, as far as he can, in saying that he would lie, if he is willing to say that he's going to take the legal consequences when he leaves office, and if he is willing to pay a fine of up to $2 million, could Shays deliver enough Republicans to head off impeachment? Sources say the White House is considering its end of that proposal tonight, Peter.
Thank you very much, Linda Douglas. Let's focus for a moment on one of the real newsmakers in all this. I don't mind, you just make up your mind. Okay. Today, the third-ranking Republican in the House of Representatives, Tom DeLay from Texas, said if the vote were held today, he believes the president would be impeached. ABC's John Cochran reports tonight that if anyone in the Republican Party should know, Tom DeLay is the man.
For those of you that don't know me, I'm Tom DeLay, the Majority Whip.
The country may not know much about him, but this conservative from Texas was certainly one of the people the president's spokesman had in mind this week.
There is a small group of the Republican leadership who've made it their mission in life to remove the president.
It may not actually be DeLay's mission in life, but that's not overstating it by much. DeLay cannot stand Bill Clinton. Never could. And he thinks he is guilty of impeachable offenses. But until now, DeLay has rarely been a mover and shaker in Washington power plays. As House Whip,
Mr. Speaker,
he tried to round up votes for what his leaders wanted. Then suddenly, after the November elections, Newt Gingrich was gone. And his replacement, Bob Livingston, did not have the stomach to lead an impeachment fight. DeLay saw his opportunity and took it. He is not telling Republicans they must vote for impeachment, but there is unspoken pressure.
Anyone who crosses him on this impeachment vote will know that he's not going to forget who they are, what they did, and he can make their lives pretty miserable in the future.
And DeLay freely admits he is telling Republicans they must prevent Democrats from changing House rules so they can vote on censure.
Do you think you can block censure right now based on what you know from the Republican members?
We can block any effort that the Democrats would throw at us to bring anything, even unconstitutional things, to the floor, yes.
Some Republicans fear that by pushing them toward impeachment, DeLay may also be pushing them toward defeat in the next election. It's a risk Tom DeLay is willing to take. John Cochran, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
One other comment about this from Democratic Congressman Barney Frank. Any discussion of pressure on members, he said, without mentioning Tom DeLay is like discussing impeachment without mentioning Monica Lewinsky. So on the impeachment watch tonight and all week, we're joined by Cokie Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Bill Kristol. Let me start with you, Cokie, tonight. Is this a done deal?
Not entirely done, no, Peter, but it's very close to being done. Today was a devastating day. Now, we should say that there are people who are waiting to say no, that they're going to vote no because they don't want to come out now and get all the heat from their constituents and from their leaders. But we're hearing privately from people who have not declared that they are likely to vote for impeachment, and it is looking like it's going to be very tough for the president to avoid impeachment at this point.
George Stephanopoulos, it has seemed a little bit today as if the president is either out of touch or removed from this. A, is that true? And B, what might he do to convince some people?
There's not much he can do. I don't think it's true, Peter, even though a lot of people are second-guessing whether he should have spent that extra day in Israel at this point. I think they're holding out hope for this meeting with Christopher Shays tomorrow, that maybe Chris Shays can bring enough Republicans along and help the president find the right words. But what's happening at the White House already, Peter, and the president is already looking ahead to a post-impeachment strategy. They're going to try to paint this House action as illegitimate because it's partisan, even as they try to work toward a quick compromise in the Senate for censure.
Bill Kristol, what's gone wrong for the White House, do you think? Why is there so little silver lining in this cloud?
Well, that's what we'll all be asking ourselves for the next few days. You know, the great irony, Peter, I think will turn out to be that if Republicans had picked up seats on November 3rd, Newt Gingrich would still be Speaker and Bill Clinton would not be impeached later this week. Gingrich was deposed. That took away a lightning rod that the White House loved to attack. Henry Hyde took over. And with all due respect to Tom DeLay, the one man who will be responsible if Bill Clinton is impeached Thursday is Henry Hyde, who ran those hearings in a way that Republicans at least thought was fair, and they are rallying to his support.
So many people thought they would like to be able to vote for censure rather than impeachment. Do you think the Republicans will ever let a censure motion get to the floor?
No. I don't think that a censure motion is likely to get to the floor. And I think that what you'll be hearing from the Democrats is lots of conversation about process. They'll say, this is unfair, we had an alternative, you should let our alternative come up, and also you should give us the opportunity to speak and explain our votes on this. You won't hear that much defense of the president. You'll hear a lot of attacking the process. That's what's worked for Democrats before in this matter.
Okay, thanks all three of you. Cokie Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, Bill Kristol, our impeachment watch for this evening. As for the president himself, his last day in the Middle East, he failed to convince the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to carry out a troop withdrawal next week. It was supposed to be part of the agreement the Israelis and the Palestinians signed in October, and then the president went and did some touring today. When we come back, some of the other news, including what the record companies say is a real threat to business. Free music online.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Pepsid AC Chewables.
Gosh, you know, I just went to use the phone.
You say once you got back, your wife was gone.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
What?
Have you checked the hot enchilada?
Oh, no. Millicent gets terrible heartburn.
Not this time.
What's that?
Looks like the remains of an individually wrapped Pepsid AC chewable.
Introducing Pepsid AC Chewables, the first chewable to stop heartburn before it starts.
Millicent? Is that you?
Start living heartburn-free with new Pepsid AC Chewables. Is your tissue making her cold's red nose worse blow after blow?
Oh, sweetie, I'm sorry. The more I wipe, the worse this tissue feels.
No regular tissue soothes better than Puffs Plus, not even the other national brand. It's the most soothing Puffs ever, an incredibly soft tissue with lotion, with aloe and vitamin E.
Wow, that's magic. Can you feel the lotion? Maybe next time your nose won't get so red.
That was magic. Puffs Plus, it feels better because it soothes better.
Life's an adventure because you're over 50 and still exploring. So take the Centrum made just for you, Centrum Silver, with age-essential nutrients specially adjusted to keep pace with your changing nutritional needs. Centrum Silver, it's a great time to be silver.
On the money tonight, a milestone for the stock market. It is now the longest-running bull market ever, meaning the market has never before gone so long without a 20% drop in either the Dow Jones Industrial Average or the other major stock index, the Standard & Poor's 500. Nearly 9 years now, and still counting. Today, the Dow was up again, more than 127 points to close at 88.23. On the NASDAQ, stocks were up just about 45.5 points. A milestone in the corporate world. For the first time, a woman is going to run a major U.S. car company. Cynthia Trudell has been named the new chief of Saturn, owned by General Motors. The major record companies announced a plan today to fight what they regard certainly as a common enemy. They believe that free music downloaded from the internet threatens to undermine the economic foundation of the $40 billion record industry. On the other side, of course, are music buyers to some extent, and even those people who hope that the internet will help them to make it as performers. Here's ABC's Judy Muller.
Like rain inside of me.
Irene Loren and her husband had played clubs and coffee houses, but a recording contract and all the distribution that goes with it has eluded them. So now they're playing the internet.
Like rain.
For independent musicians like Loren, the website known as MP3 is a dream come true, offering free nationwide exposure.
What they do is they sort of rank you by how many people have downloaded the song, and so they have a pop chart. So I'm climbing the pop charts.
On the internet?
Yes, on the internet. I'm like 93 on the pop charts.
And music fans love it as well. They can download digital music onto their personal computer, choosing from a wide range of artists, both unknown and established.
They want old Johnny Mathis hits. They want new Beastie Boys music, and they want to be able to get that whether they're at their desk at their office or whether they're at home surfing the web with their children.
But while the MP3 technology may be a dream for independent artists and consumers, it poses a potential nightmare for record companies and established musicians who fear their work will be illegally pirated and downloaded, costing them millions in lost CD sales. That hasn't happened yet, but the recording industry is worried that this portable device, called the Rio, will encourage piracy. It downloads music from the computer and plays it back Walkman style. The industry is suing the manufacturer in an attempt to stop its sales. And today, 5 major record companies unveiled a plan to encrypt their music so that it can only be downloaded if you pay for it.
Artists and record companies will be able to make more music available knowing that that music is secure.
The record companies have good reason to hop aboard internet technology. Between CD sales on the net and downloading for a fee, the internet is expected to account for 30% of all music business within 5 years. Judy Muller, ABC News, Los Angeles.
When we come back, we'll take a closer look at milk and the hormone for the cows.
There are different kinds of smart. There's fashion smart. There's book smart. But if you want to be street smart, get yourself a Cavalier during the Chevy Make Your Money Count year-end event. AAA calls Cavalier a top car, Money Magazine a best buy. And with low 0.9% APR financing or big cash back, you'll call Cavalier the smart choice. You'll find great deals on other Chevy cars and trucks too. Hey, the more you know, the better Cavalier looks at your Chevy dealers Make Your Money Count year-end event. It's the season for you.
A new study has shown that 3 cups of Cheerios whole grain oats a day added to a low-fat diet can actually help reduce your cholesterol. Just think of them as little life preservers, the one and only Cheerios, to help reduce your cholesterol.
When they said the world didn't need another nose strip, we said we'll make one that gives instant relief of nasal congestion symptoms and is ergonomically contoured for a good fit. Introducing Clear Passage nose strips. After all, we're the maker of the Afrin brand, and who knows more about the nose?
When we were traveling cross country, we stopped at a place. They had the business channel we started watching, and the market was going down, and we said, there are these stocks we wanted to buy, and from the road we called up.
Called Schwab because we didn't have a phone modem in the motorhome, so we couldn't trade online. Where were we?
Utah.
Utah.
We were in Utah.
On a payphone, talking to Schwab,
Trying to get.
buying the stocks. There was a feeling of exhilaration. Hey, we've done it. You've committed to it. Then we got back in the motorhome, traveled on our way.
And those purchases have
done very well.
I want to keep my smile for life, don't you? But everybody has plaque, the leading cause of gum disease. 3 out of 4 people will have some form of gum disease in their lifetime. You can do something about it. Interplaque by Conair is clinically proven to remove nearly all plaque, even below the gum line. Its unique cleaning action can actually reverse gum disease. And now the totally cordless Odyssey, clutter-free. Recharge in any outlet in as little as 10 minutes. ADA accepted Interplaque by Conair. Keep your smile for life.
We're going to take a closer look tonight at the country's milk supply. Milk gets a lot of attention these days, what with those mustache ads, among other invocations to drink milk. Here's the issue. Bovine growth hormone is a genetically engineered drug that encourages cows to produce more milk. The hormone is currently being injected into 30% of the dairy cows in the country, which means it gets pretty wide distribution in the nation's chain of dairy products. We're taking a closer look today because the Center for Food Safety, which is a consumer group, began a legal action against the Food and Drug Administration, in which it says the FDA did not pay enough attention to potential hazards, namely that the hormone might increase the risk of cancer in humans. ABC's John McKenzie has been studying this for some time, and here is his report.
Twice a month, genetically engineered bovine growth hormone is injected into almost 3 million dairy cows. The milk these cows produce is then shipped throughout the country, not only as milk, but made into cream and cheese and yogurt. Chances are you'd never know because it's almost never labeled. The Food and Drug Administration concluded in 1990 that milk from hormone-treated cows is safe for human consumption. But a recent review of the evidence challenges the FDA's conclusion.
It was their job to take a careful look at every study. We now know they did not do so.
When the FDA approved bovine growth hormone, it relied on several studies, including one unpublished animal study done by the Monsanto Corporation, the company that wanted to sell the hormone. The FDA publicly reported the study's results, saying that rats fed extremely high doses of the hormone over a 90-day period showed no evidence they had absorbed the hormone. But there are now questions about how the FDA interpreted the data. In Canada, where the use of bovine growth hormone is now being hotly debated, government scientists recently reviewed the complete Monsanto study, and they came up with startlingly different conclusions. The Health Protection Branch of the Canadian government says the Monsanto study actually provided evidence that 20 to 30% of the rats did absorb the hormone. According to the Canadian scientists, the data also showed that male rats developed cysts in the thyroid, and that higher levels of the hormone were detected in the prostate. 5 government scientists in Canada had enough questions about the safety of bovine growth hormone, about the possibility it might contribute to breast and prostate cancer, that they recently took the unprecedented step of taking their concerns public.
If it wasn't for this Canadian government analysis, we probably never would have known the full results from this 90-day rat feeding study. They should have done long-term toxicity testing, which the FDA did not require.
The FDA declined our requests for an interview. As for Monsanto, it maintains that bovine growth hormone is safe and that milk from cows treated with the hormone is no different from any other. But both senators from one of the most important dairy states are not so certain. Senators Leahy and Jeffords have now asked Secretary of Health and Human Services, Donna Shalala, to formally investigate the FDA's approval of bovine growth hormone and whether the agency overlooked important evidence about its safety. John McKenzie, ABC News, New York.
Well, let's take it a bit further this evening. The Food and Drug Administration won't talk to us on the record. One FDA official who was quoted in a Vermont newspaper is saying the FDA only looked at the Monsanto summary, not the complete report, tells us today he doesn't remember what he told the paper. And the study itself has never been made public, even though several groups have tried repeatedly to get it. So what's the deep, dark secret? Today we talk to Mark Ritchie, the president of the Institute for Agriculture and Trade Policy in Washington. Mr. Ritchie, why do you think the Food and Drug Administration is reluctant to talk about this?
I think they've made a mistake and now they don't want to talk about it publicly.
And do you think that this concern today will have an effect on them, this pressure campaign?
Well, they've known about this information for a while, but I think the new pressure might push them to look seriously and to take the public risk to heart.
Do you think American consumers are seriously at risk?
I think we don't know, and that's the most disturbing. There looks like there's evidence that we may be, but we don't know yet, and we need to find out.
So do you believe that this bovine hormone should come off the market immediately?
Oh, definitely. We now see there's potential of cysts and thyroids, of prostate, perhaps breast cancer. It should come off until we know what are the long-term impacts.
Do you think the Food and Drug Administration will respond to this pressure positively and remove it from the market for now?
If they don't, I think we can't trust the FDA to protect ourselves or our families.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
In a moment, unable to move or speak, but still able to communicate.
Honey, I'm going to Staples to pick up a few gifts. Be back soon.
Attention shoppers, looking for the perfect gift? Well, check out aisle 3 for great prices on Sharp mobile organizers. And save on Panasonic phones. No, not you! You, yes! And I, or any husband, would love one of those nice global chairs. I need the leather one! Get a leather chair!
For great gift ideas and over 7,000 items at guaranteed low prices at Staples. Yeah, we've got that.
Start something special.
Alero with the active response system. 16 features working together to keep you connected to the road. And one more to keep you connected to your money. For a short time, get 0.99 financing on all 99 Oldsmobiles. That means average finance savings of $2,600 on Alero at the Start Something special event at your Oldsmobile dealer now.
Bacon! Bacon! Where's the bacon? I smell bacon! 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 Gotta be bacon! Only one thing smells like bacon! That's bacon! Bacon, 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 bacon! There! From that bag! What's it say? I can't read! Please, please, give me what's in the bag! Chewy, yummy, smoky bacon!
There you go.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy! No, 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 no! It's bacon!
No, it's Bacon Strips, brand dog snack from Purina. Bacon Strips. Dogs don't know it's not bacon.
It's bacon!
Man, that chili was hot.
You got heartburn too?
Yeah.
Want to try these new Pepsi AC chewables?
It says you gotta take it with water. What's the water for? Oh, it sounds you don't need water.
Just because new Pepsi is chewable doesn't mean it works like Tums. Tums calcium knocks out heartburn fast. Pepsi Chewables famotidine has to go through your bloodstream, so it takes 40 minutes just to start controlling acid.
Do you want to go back for water?
Forget the water, pass the
Tums. Nobody does it like you.
To deep clean your carpet and upholstery, you can get a Hoover Steam Vac Ultra and pay once. Or pay these guys
Nobody
every time.
does it like you.
At Emory University in Atlanta, doctors have performed a radical, first-of-its-kind procedure that has the potential to help thousands of people who've been completely paralyzed by stroke. Several months ago, doctors implanted a device in a stroke victim's head that gives him back the power of expression. Today, some indication of the results. Here's ABC's George Strait.
A year ago, J.R. had a stroke that left him unable to move, speak, or breathe on his own. But this week, he accomplished something that millions of similarly paralyzed people have only dreamt of. He communicated.
Yes, awesome. That's the first time.
He spelled his first name, John. He did it by controlling a computer with the only part of his body that still works, his mind. How he does it is remarkable. Scientists implanted a tiny glass cone with 2 wires into the part of JR's brain that controls movement. The device captures and transmits the electrical current produced when he thinks about moving. A receiver in a computer picks up the signal and moves the cursor. When the cursor gets to where he wants it, he stops thinking, and the cursor stops.
When the patient thinks of something, then it happens?
Well, yes. Basically, that's what happens.
Spelling his name is just a first step. Using another screen, he can say hello or call for help in an emergency. But this technology will not work for all stroke victims.
No. If people have a stroke in the speech area, or if the cortex is damaged in some way, then no, this wouldn't work.
It has taken JR months to get this far. His control of the cursor is far from perfect, but the fact that he can do it at all, that he can communicate, scientists say is a breakthrough. George Strait, ABC News, Atlanta.
One other note today about words. In southern Egypt, archaeologists have found what may be the earliest words ever written, clay tablets that were inscribed 5,000 years ago. The markings are a record of taxes paid to a king. And if confirmed, the tablets would be among the greatest discoveries ever in the history of writing, certainly, and Egyptian culture. When we come back, loosening up.
Oh, this head cold. I'm so clogged up, I just can't focus.
You okay? Get Tavus D. Just one works 12 hours versus 4 Tylenol cold pills. Tavus D clears your congestion. Be clear-headed, clear through your day with Tavus D.
I ate Quaker oatmeal for 30 days. It helped me cut my cholesterol by 15 points. How would you describe that, Bob?
A little off the top.
Quaker oatmeal warms you heart and soul.
Chevy Tahoe, like a rock.
People will ship anything.
At mailboxes, etc. We'll pack it, ship it, and get it there for you, stress-free for the holidays.
Just bring it on in, and no hassle, we'll do it. We've got the supplies, we've got the packing materials.
All they have to do is fill out a label.
And they say, can you get it there tomorrow? And we say, yes, we can.
And they say, great. Now I can enjoy my family and relax for the holidays.
Mailboxes, etc., making the holidays easier worldwide.
And when you give them the answer, yes, we can, it's like, ah, my hero.
ABC tonight at 10, 9 Central. Critics say it's the best cop show on TV. NYPD Blue proves it every week.
I'm not working where this goes on.
All new NYPD Blue tonight, 10, 9 Central. Viewer discretion advised.
Finally from us this evening, a word about wearing ties. In the Middle East, for example, Israeli politicians never have to wear a tie in Parliament. But in Egypt, where it's even hotter in the summer, a politician wouldn't think of being in Parliament without a tie. No wonder a tie rebellion gets attention. It happened during an African fashion show in the Netherlands this week. The Dutch Queen's husband, Prince Klaus, who was the host for the event, suddenly decided and said out loud that his tie was like a snake around his neck.
Prince Klaus gezien?
That night on Dutch television, the anchorman and then the sportscaster shed their ties in support.
Good Lord.
It was the English who made the tie fashionable in the 19th century. It was a status symbol. Today, Englishmen wear their ties almost everywhere, even when they're hunting and fishing. Certain Dutch men, on the other hand, hope that this rebellion takes root. No piece of clothing, said a Dutch businessman, combines so little function with so much potential for bad taste. Not that bad. That's our report on World News Tonight. I'm Peter Jennings. Don't forget, Nightline later. Have a nice evening. Good night.
Tomorrow, internet shopping, the dark side, the risks, what could happen to you in cyberspace. Watch ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABC News, now always on.
Tonight, it's a Spin City Christmas.
Well, young man, what would you like for Christmas?
My dignity back.
Wishful thinking.
Checkmate.
Spin City, 9, 8 Central. See you tonight on ABC.
A whole new era in college football begins. The Bowl Championship Series. Coming January 1st, only on ABC.
Now, News 2 at 6. First, fast, accurate.
I opened my door and I heard screaming, and it was a little 9-year-old girl, Talia, and she said, would you help me, please? My stepdad's got a gun, and I'm afraid he's killed my mom.